And hopefully we are live. Please let me know if there's anyone here watching. Welcome to Rocker's Beer Review. Got a couple of people watching. Got Keith. Hi, Keith. Yeah, so today I thought, start. Not only am I celebrating 1,000 subscribers, which literally happened about an hour ago. Obviously, I'm going to be going to drink half of my Beer52 beers for this month, which is Croatia. So I've got 4 cans. Going to drink them. It's not going to be an overly long 2 or 3 hour stream. I'm going to keep it, fairly sort of succinct, maybe within an hour or so. I don't want you guys to get bored out there. So what I'm going to do is, as I say, drink through the beers and do a little bit of a review as we go, really. And just to say, thanks for everyone that's subscribed over the last sort of well, how long has it been? It's been 13, 14 months. So, yeah, I'm really amazed that I've got so many subscribers, certainly in the last sort of month, 6 weeks or so. And so I'm interested to see how it's going to go. I mean, I've got to get my watch hours up first. Probably not gonna start. You won't start seeing adverts for a while, I don't think. But we're getting pretty close there to the watch hours. But yeah, thanks again for all the subscribers. As I said, it's thanks to you and the feedback and stuff that really helps me keep this channel going. And it's been a really great year and a half, and I've drank a lot of really great beer. So let's see if there's anyone else that's gonna make some money, Rocker. Yeah, I don't think so, Keith. I don't think I'm gonna be retiring on this really yet. I might be making $5 a month or something like that, and not really doing it for the money. It's just doing it for a bit of fun. But I think it shows that people want to watch, and it makes I think it's a good thing, really. So how many people we've got? I've got 4 watching. Yeah, 4 people watching. I mean, I'm doing it on a Thursday night, so yeah, let's crack on, shall we? So until people start arriving, this is the Ferment magazine for Beer52. This is the stuff that I'm going to be doing the beers, and I'm going to just go through the beers that I'm doing now. So I'm going to be doing this New England IPA. This is the Garden Brewery. There's a few from the Garden Brewery here. So we've got that one. That's a 6% New England IPA. We've also got this one, a Hazy Pale Ale, again from the Garden Brewery, and also Love International's 4.5%. Then I'm going to be doing Ice Cream Pale. This is the one that probably I'm not that sure about. Always a bit wary of Ice Cream Pale Ales. I think they sound good, but usually they're a bit artificially sweet. And then we'll finish with this one. This is Mechanics of Illusion. It's a modern West Coast IPA. So, yeah. That's what it's all about. So that's, I'm not a massive fan of West Coast, but I want to give that one a try. These are all nice and cold, and so I'll be drinking them pretty quickly. Yeah, so we just did that one. PCP, yeah, Coxie, tell us about the thumbnails. Well, what do you want to know? I mean, yeah, there's been a few people that sort of saying what's going on with these thumbnails. With the ones that I put some different people in. Basically, I just took some. I've got some stock images that I use in some of my other sort of marketing from when I do apps and stuff. And I just thought it was a bit of a trial, really. Someone said to me, how do you know which videos work better, get more views and, more people interact with? And I sort of said, well, it's usually the ones with my face in them opposed to just pictures of the beer. And they said, oh, I'm sure there'll be a better face than yours, Rocker. And I said, yeah, well, what do you mean? So, well, what if you put like a woman's face in, then you get more clicks? I said, well, that's a bit of clickbait there. But I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that will put a image that will get more clicks, people go in and it's not exactly what it's all about. So I said, oh, well, I don't think so. I think my audience are a bit more smarter than that. So, but I said, well, let's give it a try. So I did 3 videos, And to be honest, I had a couple of people that said, yeah, I really love the thumbnails, and I had a couple of people saying I'm unsubscribing, don't like them. And in terms of views, I would say they were up a little bit more than the videos before, but you know, it's difficult when you're comparing one video to another. You know, you don't know whether they've come through. I didn't see a significant amount, and really that was just a social experiment. You know, whether a different, a more attractive face on a thumbnail is going to get more click-throughs, and I don't think it really did. Certainly, in terms of the views, didn't really change in terms of the amount of people on the time and everything. So that's it. You won't be any more of that. It'll be back to my ugly mug in most of the videos anyway, because I think that's what people expect. So I hope that covers that for anyone that's interested in that. Jonathan, hi Rocker, Halloween time of the oath, we got the power, we are divine. Yeah, I mean, that I've really been getting into some of those old Halloween albums. Obviously the new Halloween albums come out, and I literally listened to it to death, to the point where I've got a little bit bored of it, because I've just over listened to it. I hate albums that are just so immediate and you just get into them really quickly. So I've going back through some of the older Halloween stuff. Time of the Oath is a pretty good album. We Got the Power, is that from one of the songs? I know there's an song called Power, We Are Divine. Maybe there are tracks from there. I haven't given it enough time, but Halloween, brilliant. Looking forward to that. Coxie, you overestimate your audience intelligence. Do I overestimate or underestimate my my audience intelligence? I don't know. I'm not quite sure on that. I just thought some of them were, thought they were great, and some of them didn't like them. So, and nobody else really commented. So I'm not quite sure. Good to hear. We'll go back to the old format. Yeah, I know you, Coxie. You preferred those. You preferred the attractive women on the thumbnails. Don't tell me any different. Right, so anyway, let's get cracking, because I want to get through these beers before they get too warm. So the first beer I'm going to be doing is this one. It's a New England IPA, juicy and resinous with stone fruit and tropical notes, 6%. It's in a small little can, all small cans. I've just had a quick look in the magazine here, and it's telling me pretty much the same thing. It tells me it's got Simcoe, Citra, Idaho 7 Eldorado in it. So let's crack it open, see what's about. Let us know, anyone who's watching, what you're drinking out there. It's a hot day today, so I'm interested to know what's the best refreshment. I mean, really, when it's this hot, lager always goes down a little bit better than IPAs, but these are pretty cold and light. I mean, that's a pretty light looking IPA. That's almost, I'd almost say that's almost lager-esque. I remember having those women on those covers of Top of Pop's albums in the 70s. Woolies never made me buy them. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think anyone else. There's only a few of us that still remember the old Top of the Pops cover. So let's get chucked in. Cheers, everyone, wherever you are, whatever you're drinking. Cheers, and let's hope the weather cools down a bit. Yeah, I mean, that's quite a light, quite orangey passion fruit flavor. It's not very New England-esque. I mean, just looking at it, it's not that hazy really. You could pour that out and you think that would be a lager or a golden ale. Soft mouthfeel. It's refreshing, which is what we want really. Jonathan loves cider in this weather. Yeah, I haven't had any cider for a long while. It's just trying to find. I'm not really a massive fan of the sort of off-the-shelf stuff. I did want to do something that reminded me. I wanted to do some craft cider reviews, but I've got to admit, I don't know where to start. So anyone you think, what sort of craft ciders, which breweries do a lot of craft ciders? Because I don't really like your strong, but the big brands, the Strongbow, which is like the Carling of bloody cider really. I want something a little bit more different, refreshing. I like the more sort of cloudier stuff, the Scrumpy-esque sort of stuff. And I'm not really sure where the best place to buy that is. I don't even think that my local bottle shop really stocks much in the way of cider. But yeah, John, let us know what you think. What's your go-to cider? Please tell me it's not, I don't know, Strongbow dark fruit. Aspel, a nice size. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Aspel. Aspel, I suppose it's been such a long time. I don't know what it is about cider. It just reminds me of when I was like 17, and you know, that was what I used to drink, sweet cider. And you know, it reminds me of that. You know, the stuff like Diamond White and K cider and stuff like that. And so every time I sort of taste it, it just takes me back to those days. Coxie loves cider. Yeah, well, yeah, I thought you would. And Buckfast. No, you don't like Buckfast, Coxie. I know that nobody likes it. Nobody drinks Buckfast for the wonderful taste that it gives. Because anyone who doesn't know Buckfast, it's a tonic wine. I think it's a tonic wine brewed down in Devon or Cornwall, down there somewhere. I think it's Devon, in the monasteries, but it's drank mainly in Scotland, because it's a big get drunk really quickly sort of drink. But it's not even, you can't, when you look at, I was going to do it on the channel for a bit of comedy value basically, but really disappointed how that, you know, when you looked how much it was like 10 quid for a small bottle, and I know it's not even that nice, and I'm thinking, do I really want to buy it? Maybe one day I'll do it. There'll be some, maybe we'll do it on, I don't know, Burns Night or something next year. It gives me a while to get onto that. Tom Hughes, are you calling us Scottish alky? Well, you know, they like a drink, don't they? You know, let's face it. But they also like Buckfast, and I don't know many other people that are. Certainly, I don't think there's anywhere in England where their reputation is that they like to drink Buckfast. But if you go into Glasgow, you'll probably see it. Okay. Yeah, so the first beer it's all right. I wouldn't call it a New England IPA. It's orangey and passion fruit. It's quite soft, but you know, not much carbonation in it, but it's got a little bit of piney bitterness. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't taste like a New England style beer. I mean, it's not hazy enough really for me. But you know, this is the first beer of the night. It's refreshing, so yeah, good stuff. Okay, anyone else in the chat? I haven't heard any other comments from anyone else. Anyone else in here? Oh, here we go. Adam, even a lot of deleted messages. Yeah, well, you know, I think there's a few people here that shouldn't be, if you know what I mean. I'll discuss that on another live stream. But you know, I'm getting a lot of people coming in and spamming the comments, and I know that they shouldn't be on this channel really at the moment. Any more details about that, I'll let you know. But you know, I think that there's some other people sort of sabotaging this live stream as much as I delete their messages and stop them. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk any more about that. So not bad, a bit orangey, a bit passion fruity, and a bit too light. But I mean, we're on Beer52. I mean, everyone knows it. You know, it's not a bad. Croatia this month is what I was interested in these beers from Croatia, because they couldn't get any before in the last month, so I was going to do them for their football. And I just think it's nice when they do the different countries. It's different, but you know, you're not getting a beer here that's like going to go, oh, this is the best beer I've ever drank. But you know, it hits the spot. Have you tried Motorhead Overkill Pilsner? No, I haven't. Any good? John, is it any good, that Motorhead Overkill Pilsner? I mean, I'm wary of these sort of tie-in beers. I mean, just because I'm a big fan of Maiden, but both their Trooper beer and their Trooper IPA were really average beers, and so I'm a bit nervous about those sort of beers. I don't think I've ever seen it. I had a Motorhead Overkill glass that I should have really got a Pilsner, but the glass got smashed. I had that. One of the first sort of beer glasses I got when I first started the channel. But you know, Pilsner's good. I don't know who's the brewery that makes that. I know I know John, you're a big fan of Anthrax. I know they've got I'm sure they've got a Pilsner or a lager. Not that I've ever seen it here, but I know that they do have they've got a tie-in as well. So I don't know whether that's another one to try. And I'm sure Kiss, well, they put their name on literally anything. I'm sure they've got one as well. Who else? Can I see I even think I saw a Scorpions beer as well. So a lot of those rock bands that I've got to admit, when I started the channel and I was having that rock theme, I was thinking, yeah, what I want is I want the rock. I want rock associated with beer. But to find some of these beers, I had that Cradle of Filth Pale Ale. That was about the closest thing I had, and apart from the Trooper IPA. But it's difficult to get them. I must try to find places. It's a Cameron's beer. Thought it was okay, not as good as their Road Crew. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Our Big Sips in. Have you tried the Big Sip Challenge, Rock? No. I've looked at the challenge. I've seen your challenge. I did think maybe I should do it here live tonight, but I've got to admit, I don't have a 440ml can of lager to do it with. And to be honest, the last thing I want to eat is bread. So if you haven't seen, yeah, check it. If you don't know Beer Sip Beer Review, great channel. Lots of interesting stuff he does on there. But what he's got going on at the moment is this Big Sip Challenge. Basically, you've got to drink a 440ml can of. I mean, you've used lager. I don't know if lager's the best thing. I think it's probably the best thing. A can of lager and one slice of normal white bread. And what you've got to do, you've got to eat the bread and you've got to eat the beer in as quickly as time as possible. And you can't eat a bit of bread, then drink a bit of beer and vice versa. You've got to take one or the other. And I noticed that Big Sip is doing eating the bread, and that's the slowest part of the challenge. You'd think that would be the quickest bit, but that's the slowest part. He eats the bread, then drinks the beer. So let me know. I'm interested, actually. Do you think that it would work better if you drank the beer and then ate the bread? Would the bread get soaked up with the beer? I don't know. Let us know. Beer Dad's Beer Review. How you doing, Dave? Karen made the motorway. Make the motorway stuff. Oh, right, okay. I think you meant that was to do with the Motorhead beer, right? Okay. Brett's in Bearded Beer Reviews. Evening, buddy. How you doing? AB Keyded Scorpions. There's that Def Leppard. Well, where are all these beers? I've not heard of the Def Leppard one. And guys, yeah, I haven't seen you haven't reviewed them. Are they only? I know a lot of these beers, I think, are made in America. I think Iron Maiden have actually got a beer that's going to be launched in America. So it's not a Robinson's one. It's another brewery in America, where it's probably an American brewery. And it's going to be released there. So I don't even know if British people are going to get hold of anything like that. Brett, Def Leppard is only available in US shows. For US shows, US shores, I presume he means. Yeah, I mean, what is the Def Leppard one? Is that a Pilsner or a lager, or what is that? I'm interested to know. Hello, Beardy, mate. Metallica by Stone could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, the Metallica one, you'd think that that'd be more mass, but again, I think if you're in the States, you can get hold of that quite easy. But I'm not. Maybe that maybe there's a sort of gap in the market of bringing rock themed beer. I mean, I know there's been a few sort of not official beers. So I saw the Number of the Feast last year, which was like a sort of chocolate stout, and it was obviously like Number of the Beast, and the artwork was like Number of the Beast, but it was also sort of the Feast ice lolly mixed with a stout. I know Bulmer's Beer Reviews did it, but I think that they had a sort of a cease and desist. They weren't allowed to have it marketed anymore, so it was taken off. And I've also seen recently a beer, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's literally like Judas Priest Painkiller. That's the artwork. I saw it on a forum, and it's called something completely different. You good, JB? Mike, evening. What beer you drink at the moment? Is it an IPA? Well, it was an IPA, and you're right. I need to drink the next one. So I'm going to drink a hazy pale ale, so it's not an IPA. This is another Garden Brewery, easy drinking, juicy and tropical, notes of pineapple. Yeah, I'm all up for that. 4.5%. And as I said, it tells me what the hops are. I'm going to tell you what the hops are, because I think it's got Mosaic, Azaka, Simcoe, Brew One. So I can see the pineapple, and it's got Azaka, my hop of the moment. Has anyone seen any of my recent videos? I'm a big fan of Azaka. I just think it just works really well with beer. I mean, maybe this is the time to ask guys, because obviously I know there's a couple of beer reviewers that are much more talented than me and more knowledgeable. Azaka, what's it all about? Because I just find every beer I've had with Azaka I really like. I can't put my finger on why I like it, but let us know. So, cheers, everyone. Here's the pale ale. Yep, it smells like pineapple. Cheers. Yeah, again, it's really light. But it's that refreshing. There's a pineapple taste, but it's quite sort of light on the pineapple. Beer Dad, that Metallica Stone beer I thought was cracking. Oh, you've had it then? You've had it, JB? Oh well, I must. Whether are they still? Are they still releasing it? Is it still out there in the wild? Did you do a review on it? That's the big thing, and I'll check out your review. Paul anybody? Hello, mate. What's your favourite stout that you've ever had? I know it's not the weather for it at the moment. No, it's not the weather for stout. Who doesn't love a good stout? Guinness? No, that's a joke. The best stout. I mean, I had one I do like nitro stouts. I just like the body of the stouts. I do find a lot of stouts that I've had and reviewed on the channel. Some of them got real great taste, but they can be a bit thin, a bit oily, and not. I want something a little bit more sort of like a nitro stout. So I had a Christmas one that was pretty good. I'm trying to think of other ones that I had. I haven't had enough, and I'm not drinking. I won't drink many at this time of the year. I mean, you look at them and you think, yeah, chocolate caramel stout sounds great, but usually I'm always disappointed just because I think the body is not right on a lot of them. I need to try some more nitro stouts, and I will do once we get closer to sort of into the winter. Then there'll be more stouts on the channel because I'm still looking for the ultimate stout. But what about you, Paul? What's your favourite? I mean, I know with Beer52, a lot of people go for the mixed box. I've always gone for the light beers. But you know, is there been any good stouts there? I know going back to Big Sip, he did a chocolate orange stout that looked pretty good, but again, too thin, I think. Just uploaded a video. I've received a lad called Scott, 47 seconds. Just uploaded a video. Oh, right, okay. So a lad called Scott did his beer challenge in 47 seconds. That is the time to beat. And maybe I need to do one and record it, and I'll get on. I'll get a lager for the weekend, and I'll do it over the weekend, I think. Or maybe I even, because the plan was to do this live stream and then do another live stream next week, sometime in the midweek, to do the other 4 beers. So maybe I'll save it for then, you know, see if I can beat that 47 seconds. It seems really easy. You think a slice of bread and a beer seems really easy, but it's the bread. The bread obviously affects stuff. LCM Brew Def Leppard thinks a pale ale. Right, okay. Oh, Leopard is an IPA, I think. I saw the can, and they're based on Hysteria's. Oh, based on Hysteria's album artwork. It's amazing, you know. You've got all these British bands, and their beers are made in bloody America. I would have thought it'd be something Sheffield sort of esque. I mean, I'm thinking of a big Sheffield brewery. Let me know. Let me know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments what you think. Jean. Is that how you pronounce your name? Jean? I'm sure it's not. May the beer be with you always. Lol. Right, okay. Star Wars theme. Number of the feast. The head brewer had to censor the new cans. Well, how did he censor them? What you put? This is not a Iron Maiden themed beer or something like that over the top, over it. Mersey beers. Evening, Dave and Brett. Evening, Jordan. I think Jordan might be Jean. Everyone's saying hello. Evening, Adam. I got this box in error. You got this box, the Croatian box. What, they accidentally posted it to you? It's not bad. I think, though, when you read the stuff, you're thinking, I'm not that excited by it. There's nothing that's sort of jumping out that looks really good. In fact, what annoys me a little bit about Beer52 is the ones that jump out a little bit are when you're going into the sort of if you get the 10 or the 12 pack. So in the 10 pack, you get a Kajvek IPA, also by the Garden Brewery. It's a nice big can. You're getting this another one called a Magnetic Attraction, which is a New England pale that looks interesting. A Passion Sour, Summer Mist. It all looks a little bit more interesting when you go to the bigger ones, because you get bigger beers. The stouts, you're getting coconut and Tonka bean milk stout, for those who are into that. A neon stout, I'm not sure what that actually is. A New World stout. But yeah, I mean, this is not the time of the year for stouts. It's not the word for stout. I had a can of layer cake and a bottle of vintage 2007 Coats de Rhone red wine. Yeah. I've got to admit, I do like my red wine. I'm a big fan of Malbec. That's my sort of go-to red wine. And I don't really drink white wine, so if I'm drinking wine, it's a red wine. But yeah, I mean, this time of the year, drinking wine, you've got to put the red wine in the fridge, and then you get it out half an hour or so, but let it breathe on the table, and then drink it, because that's the right sort of temperature. It's if you take it at the temperature it is now, which in my house I think it was like 26. It's too hot. It's going to spoil it. It won't be that good. A can of layer cake. I mean, with that one, I mean, what do you do? I suppose if you take it out of the fridge and you leave it for 10 minutes, it's probably just at the right level. I don't mind layer cake. Falls a bit thin, but not the best. Everyone's saying hello. Dave saying hello to Mersey Beers. Last night. Oh, that was last night. Yeah, okay. For me, if I want a decent stout, I always plump for Founders Beers. Okay. What's Founders Beers all about? More traditional opposed to craft. I don't know. Best British band beer in my own is Whichford's Pile Driver. Status Quo. Right, okay. Kelham Island, St Miles of the Desert. Yep, they're from Sheffield. Yep, and I have a St Miles of the Desert. Should have remembered that. How many beers are you going to have, Rocker? Just 4 tonight. No, I've got to cancel with my error. Okay, yeah, so your beer 50. Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit. Last month I postponed. After I got the free ones, I postponed it. I think it was the Yorkshire ones, and it all seemed like the beers you can buy cheaper in a supermarket. Wanted this one. I don't know what next month's going to bring. Yeah, I got the 10-pack because last month for a tenner. I mean, that's it. With Beer52, you just got to play them at their own game, really. Stop it, postpone it, tell them you're going to cancel, then they start offering you stuff. Then you exhaust that, then you cancel it. And then before you know it, a month later, they're offering you a free box to start up again. And then you think, yeah, I'll start up again. And you might have 1 or 2 boxes, and then you do go through the whole stage again. That's how you do Beer52 if you want to sort of save your money. Paul, I love the Keys Caramel Fudge Stout. It's over 10% no, so a definite sipper. Supermarket-wise, Vocation do a fantastic one in Morrison's. That's 6.5%. Is that the Sweet Temptation one? I'm sure I've had that one, and I thought I liked the flavour, but I thought it was a little bit thin for me. The Keys Caramel Fudge Stout, I've had that as well. I think I did review it. It's a small can. Yeah, it's quite strong, and I can't remember much more. I remember it being really sweet and very decadent. Can't believe we're doing all this discussion about stouts. Danny Bloom, good evening, Rocker. Hi, Danny, how you doing? Founders on Beer Hop, their older American brewery with sketchy recent history. Right, okay. I had a beer made by Witchfinder General and some Black Country brewery. I can't remember the name. Was a dark ale. It was bloody good. Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm not a massive fan of dark ales. Stouts. I suppose I feel a bit of a fraud that I'm doing a craft beer channel and I don't do enough for those sort of darker beers. I will get into them, and I will because I know there's a lot of good ones to have, and maybe I've just been unlucky so far because I want to do more of the I want to try some black IPAs, and I want to try just something a bit sort of a darker sort of brown ale, something a little bit sweeter. Founders KBS and their breakfast stout are banging. Okay, everyone's drinking stouts. What's going on? Tom, hello, Tom. How you doing? Join us here. We've drank 2 beers so far. We've had the hazy pale ale, and we've also had the New England IPA. And I'm going to tuck into the next one because I'm concerned that they're going to be cold. I wanted to save this one because one of my subscribers said he's going to throw this one straight down the sink, but he's not come on yet. He's not commented. But ice cream pale ale, the controversial sort of beer. It's a 4.7 soft scoop vanilla ice cream pale. I have a feeling this is going to be sweet and weird all at the same time. Let's crack it open, get it into a glass. Yeah, I mean, already these beers are warming up. They were ice cold when I got them out. Yeah, you can tell they're warming up a bit because I don't think they pour as well. So this is very orangey, knobhead pour, 4 fingers of fluffy head. Yeah, that smells artificially sweet like an ice cream pale ale. It doesn't. Oh, it smells really orangey, really orangey. Almost like a orange cordial. Let's chin that one. Cheers. Yeah, if you are watching, Mark, I know that you maybe watched this back, and you were the one who said, "I'm gonna pour that away." You should. It's not nice. Ice cream pale. It's just marketing, you know. It's just people saying ice cream pales, and you think, "Oh, vanilla soft scoop. It's gonna be creamy. It's gonna be delicious." They never are. Let me know if you've had an ice cream pale and what they're like. Let me get through some of these comments now. Danny, thanks so much for the donation. Right, okay. Hello, Beardy. Hope you're well, sir. Daniel Goodman. Oh, yeah, good. I know Beardy Beer Reviews. Brett was doing a charity raffle thing where he was giving away Wild Weather beers. So I don't know if you're doing another one, but stick it in here, Brett. And if you're going to do anything else, and let people know that it's going on. CBS. Yeah, we talked about CBS. Ponage are usually cracking stouts. Is that how you pronounce it? Pojala. I do fancy my Rossini that's in the fridge watching you drink. Yeah, that's what you want. You want an Aldi Rossini. It's a good beer, that. It's refreshing. It's not quite like that Mariba. We discussed it before, that if you go to Morrison's, you can get it's an Italian Pilsner. It's really good. I've only discovered it for the first time this summer. It's a cracking beer. Also, if you're in Morrison's, I haven't reviewed it, but I drank it the other night. It's a malty Peroni. It's in a lot bit premier sort of Peroni. It's in a sort of very sort of stylish looking glass. There you go, glass bottle. It wasn't expensive. I think it's like £2.50 for the bottle, and I think it was quite a large bottle. But that's really nice. If you like your lagers more on the malty side, that's a pretty good lager as well. I think they have knocked CBS on the head, Brett. Never had it. All right, okay. You need to drink them faster. I mean, how much faster can I go? I'm only half an hour in. I'm on my third beer. You know, I know some people who do a 3-hour session and only drink 3 beers. This is not good at all. To be honest, that's one to avoid. So if you've seen this one, if you get this one in your Beer 52 box, it's not great. It's your Bon Jovi beers. That's what it is already. It's overly sweet. It's got that sort of artificial creaminess to it that just doesn't taste right, as if it's like a beer with a bit of milk in it. Yeah, give that one a miss. No, but poor love. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a phrase. I'm sure I've said it before. I know there's a few other beer reviewers. Sometimes I start saying stuff and I think, I'm sure someone else has said that. It just becomes a little bit almost like second nature, you know, when you say cheers, the way you say, yeah, let's tuck in, and, you know, knobhead pour. I'm sure the knobhead pour come from Greg at Bournemouth's Beer Reviews. I know he says that a lot because he does a lot of them. I try not to do so many, so I don't mention it that much. Need to self-isolate from today. Just ordered a bunch of beer through Deliveroo. Yeah, so there seems to be a lot of people getting pinged from being self-isolated. So especially if you're in the south, high density, a high density of people. Deliveroo, right? Well, so you went to your local bottle shop, Deliveroo. I did see, if you want a good deal, if you like brew by numbers, if you go onto Groupon, they're doing a special 12 beers for 24 quid. So that's £2 a beer. I have a mixed sort of variety of IPAs, pales. I don't know if it's going to have sours. It's got there's a lagers in there as well. But I think they're pretty good brew by numbers. Quite good, consistent brewery down in Bermondsey in southeast London. So if you go on Groupon, just search for beer and it will come up. There's a few other beer offers, but I thought that was a cracking deal for 12 beers for 24 quid, £2 a can. Even their beers in supermarkets are like £3, £3.50. But some of their beers are really good. So I just saw that, so I thought I'd let you know about that one. Oh, that's a shame. That beer was a belter, JB. Oh, yeah, he's doing a JB there. I really like the solid compacted head of the IPAs. Right, okay, Tom, fair enough. So I'll be joining you in 20 minutes or so. Yeah, okay. No more raffles yet, but my GoFundMe is still open. Okay, so if you go to Beardy, is that on your? Will that be on a YouTube channel, or you got? Is there a stick the link in if you can, and people can do that. Danny Bloom currently at Morrison's. Well, get that lager, get those two Italian lagers. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I know Brett from Beardy knows what it is. That it's a really good beer though. Italian, yeah, that's it. Menabrea. I can see it. He just posted there. Yeah, Menabrea is banging it. If you like Italian pilsners, if you like Peroni, but you're a little bit fed up because it's a bit too mainstream, then Menabrea is a much better version of it. Tesco's do Italian cider. Oh, I think it's called Angelica or something, and straight from the fridge. It's quality. Well, I'll have to look out for that. Italian ciders. Yeah, I don't know. They're not known for their ciders, are they, in Italy? Jovia beers, best one yet. Yeah, I mean I say it's probably not even a Bon Jovia beers. It's more like your old it's more your Coldplay beers, really. It's the blandness. That's what it is. Sorry if you like Coldplay. Enjoy your isolation, Tom. What lager would you have with a steak dinner? Any lager. You don't have lager with steak dinner, Mike. You have red wine. That's what you have. Right, I'm just drinking this one now because I'm thirsty. But it's not great. And then what worries me is that my next beer I've got, people that watch the channel will know that West Coast IPAs are not really my thing. This is a modern West Coast, so whether that's something better. But this is all. It's interesting because it's got a Zaka, a Citra, Columbus, and Huntum, which I know the only brewery I know that uses that hop a lot is a Brewdog. I don't know what it is, what it's all about, and why Brewdog use it so much. But you don't see that often. So I think it's a Huntum. You can see that there. That's focuses on there. That one there. But Zaka I love, Citra, Columbus. Yeah, it doesn't taste like sort of a West Coast type of beer, but the New England one wasn't like a proper New England, so maybe this one is different. We'll see, depending on how it looks. It's a fairly clear orangey beer, which it's looking like. Well, I'd say that looks quite like a West Coast IPA. Probably the head's 2 fingers of head. It's fairly orangey. It's got a slight haze to it. I wouldn't say it was overly hazy, but then at the same time, it's not clear. See what it smells like. Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I do like about some good West Coast stuff is that sometimes there's that sort of marmalade-y sort of aroma and flavour, and this has definitely got that sort of marmalade. It's like orange, but real sweet orange. Let's tuck in. Cheers. Beer number 4 already. We're only 38 minutes in. That's not too bad, actually. I think I need to open my mind to these West Coast beers a bit more. It's quite light, and I wouldn't say it's overly bitter or piney. It does have that sort of slightly marmalade-y flavour, but I wouldn't say that it was overly sort of. It's not real strong marmalade flavoured. Steak and real ale. Do you like Brewdog? Not really, to be honest. I do. What the Brewdog beer that I like is the Duopolis, available in well, certainly available in Sainsbury's, other supermarkets. Small cans, 4 cans for £5. It's grapefruity, pineapple-y. It's easy to drink. It's a nice fridge filler, and it's probably one of my favourite sort of beers that I can just think, yeah, I'll pay £5, put them in the fridge, and I'll have them in the midweek. That's definitely my favourite BrewDog beer. I don't think there's anything else I like from BrewDog. There's beers that I can drink, but even Punk IPA, I'm not a massive fan of. Elvis Juice, not a massive fan of. What else have we got from them? The Lost Lager. I find the Lost Lager really, really bland. It's almost like a Coors Light for me. It's that sort of level, which I think is disappointing for a craft lager. So I don't really like that much. They're the ones that people have known. What other big BrewDog beers have there been? I mean, obviously there's Layer Cake, the Stout. I don't know. Is anyone a massive fan of BrewDog? Is there a massive BrewDog beer that everyone wants to drink? Because for me, it's like there's so many other better beers out there that I'm not a massive fan. I don't really go for much in terms of BrewDog. I don't really like. I think Tiny Rebel are the same. They're going on that way to BrewDog, where they make good beers, but they're a little bit too they try and make them too interesting in terms of they have a lot of adjuncts and strange sort of flavors in there and added stuff as well, which for me, they don't need to do. So yeah, I mean, the bigger breweries, I still think that they lose a little bit, in terms of in terms of the beers that they provide. I think that there's a lot better out there. Right. So now, before I'm going to finish this, I'm going to have a snack. So we got 2 snacks this month. We got the corn combo. This is smokehouse barbecue. It's like a crunchy corn. Sounds right. But this is the one I'm going to have. This is the onion bhaji, which is it's an onion bhaji snack. That's about all it says. Let's crack it open and see what it's about. Yeah, very sort of Indian looking. Very. Not bad at all. Better than those hard corn ones that they usually put in there in the box. Yeah, lots of very Indian spices. They're crunchy in a way that a Monster Munch. It's like an Indian flavoured Monster Munch. Not bad. When BrewDog did the fanzine, they made some really good beers. They never made it to the general public, which is a shame. Yeah, Dave, I've seen some of your reviews that you're obviously part of a club or something where the BrewDog did. And they always look quite interesting. Some of those beers look quite interesting. I do remember, I'm sure, Duopolis, that oat cream IPA, which I do like. I remember you reviewing it ages and ages ago, and then it appeared on the shelves. So maybe some of those beers do suddenly find their way to the shelves. I'm sure BrewDog have a system where they've got all these core beers that they mass produce, certainly for the supermarkets. But then they've got a little area outside, a little sort of part of the brewery where they make more sort of experimental beers or more interesting beers. But not enough people get to drink them because they don't make enough of it. And that's probably... that's the originating to how they started, the small sort of batches of beer. I mean, that's what craft beer is all about. It's about small batches. And that's why I like, the beer like Verdants and your Pollies and your Dayers, because they don't really have huge amounts of what we call core beers. They have a lot of releases, and everything seems to be new every week or every sort of few weeks that they're making it. Certainly Polly's, they do have loads of new stuff. I can't keep track of all the stuff that they release. But even those other beers, I mean, the Dayers, yeah, they've got the Steady Rolling Man and maybe even the Into the Haze, which I know appears a few times. They brew it a few times, but a lot of the time there's loads of new stuff. And even the Dayer stuff, I missed loads of those saturated in ones that I think are really good. I know Dave at Beer Dad's Beer Reviews has certainly reviewed a lot of those saturated in series. and they've all been pretty good. But they've released loads of others. But again, everything moves so quickly. But with Brewdog, you know, if you do like one of their beers, you know that you can go and have it in a month's time, 3 months' time, 6 months' time. It'll still be available in supermarkets. But then, is that like drinking Carling Black Label or Peroni or Heineken or beers like that? Brewdog lost me when they messed with Hazy Jane. The dog barking in the background there. Yeah, I mean, Hazy Jane is a good New England IPA, but, and again, Dave, I remember you did a review where you put that up against things like Love and Hate by Vocation, and I'm sure another one as well, maybe a Salt one. But anyway, it's like if you take all the New England IPAs in supermarkets, Hazy Jane is well low down in terms of the quality of it. Maybe many years ago when there wasn't loads of New England IPAs around, it was good. But have they done something with it now? Have they added some sort of special adjunct this time? They guava or something? Was it Hazy Jane guava? Is that what I've heard? Tom do like quarter pounders, love them with a nice cold beer. Yeah, who doesn't like a burger with a beer? These are actually pretty spicy. For onion bhaji, you expect them to be a bit. It's only got one chili on the ingredients, but they're pretty spicy, which is good when you're drinking beer. So yeah, I mean, that West Coast one is not so bad. It's certainly better than the ice cream pale. There's a little bit of piney bitterness coming in, and that's, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call it a refreshing beer, which I don't think a lot of them are really West Coast. I don't get that refreshment from them. Again, let me know what your favourite West Coast beer is, because I'm interested in trying more West Coast. I've had some that have been pretty good, but a lot of them have been just not really what I like, really. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm running out a bit with 47 minutes, and I might have to start getting another one of the beers out, just to have different. But let us know what's everyone else drinking. Actually, these are too spicy, but I'm keeping eating them. They're good. I like spicy food. I like spicy snacks like that. It's good. So the other stuff is those late to the party, as it were. Today I hit 1,000 subscribers, which I'm amazed that I managed to get here. I mean, there's some brilliant beer reviewers that are on this that are commented tonight that have been going longer, and and to be honest, they're better reviewers than I am. They know their stuff better. So I'm amazed how quickly we've got up to that level. Certainly in the last sort of couple of months, I've seen a definite spike in terms of people loving the channel. So hopefully some of them are maybe watching tonight. I mean, I only got 6 people watching, so maybe they're not into live streams or they're on the wrong time zone. I do a lot of rock reviews and ranking videos as well, and I get all my highest, I think my top 5 videos have always been ranking ones opposed to beer reviews. So I know I get a lot of subscribers that come in through that, and obviously maybe they want to see more rock and less beer, but primarily this is a beer review channel. So, and I just want to do the rock because that's what I'm interested in. But yeah, I'm really appreciative of anyone that subscribes and watches the channel, and hope you all enjoy it. I hope I'm doing something that people want to see on a sort of daily basis. Anyone out there? We're getting down to 5. People are disappearing. What is it? Is EastEnders on or something? I don't know. Anyone else? Beer50. I know a lot of people, they're not on a Beer52, but what do you think? Is there another beer sort of subscription that you would recommend? I'm quite interested in. I had a couple of recently American beers, and I really like them. And I thought, yeah, I could do with drinking more of those. And I know Beer Bruvs, they do a sort of mystery box from time to time. And I'm thinking of maybe, maybe going for something like that. But I don't know what other people think about having some American beers. Is there any good American? Because I think a lot of them have been pretty good. The bar's quite high with the American beers. I'm sure they've got poor ones as well as good ones. So yeah, I think that's the way. I was going to get my amp and guitar plugged in and then realised the time. What? It's only 10 to 8. You can still rock out with the best of them. Yeah, so Brett's got a nice little guitar. He likes to play more sort of doom rock metal, if you're into that. But he was introduced me to a new wave of British heavy metal band that I'd never heard of before, called, I need to remember what they're called now. Something with Ninja in it. Yeah. But if you like Iron Maiden, he said, you should give these a go. Let me just have a look and see what my recently played is. Tokyo Blade. Nothing to do with ninjas at all. Tokyo Blade. Yeah, check them out. Brett sort of recommended them to me. Apparently they were around in the sort of late 70s, early 80s when Maiden were around. And I got into them this way. I thought, yeah, they're a really good band. I never, ever heard of them before. I used to think that I was quite knowledgeable in terms of rock and metal, certainly from that sort of era, but never heard of them. Listened to them the first time. They're really great. So thanks, Brett, for that. That's a good recommendation. Doom metal, Tokyo Blade aren't doom metal, but I know you like to sort of tune it down and play it a bit more at that lower end, as it were. You got a 7-string, haven't you? A 7-string guitar. I know that. I don't think you're necessarily a big fan, but I'm a big fan of Dream Theater, the guitarist there. He's got a 7-string Ibanez as well, but he's now got an 8-string Ibanez. So I think that's going to make it more. The string's going to be lower opposed to higher. So I think it's going to be a bit more doomier Dream Theater from now on. If you haven't listened to Demon, well, Demon, they probably sound like their name is, are they? I mean, I know there's a lot of bands that got a very sort of death metal-y sort of name, and they're not death metal. Demon sound, or are they a new wave? Are they a new wave of British metal? Is that what they are? Demon? Let me look them up. Night of the Demon. Are they? Yeah, they are a new wave because they're early 80s, 81, 82, 83. Yeah, you're the master when it comes to new wave of British metal, Brett. I'm not sure in that. Yeah, 7-string guitar, Dream Theater are too technical for me. Demon, new wave, yeah, new wave. There's a lot of new wave of British heavy metal that I'm only discovering, and to be honest, Brett's the guy that's telling me about all this sort of stuff. Unexpected guest of Night of the Demon. Own the shirt. Well, I'll give them a listen to after this. See what they're all about. You know, they're not Iron Maiden, are they? Or are they? You know, I mean, the new wave of. We'll talk a little bit about new wave of British heavy metal. For me, it's all about Maiden, Saxon, Diamond Head, Def Leppard, although they never like to be sort of put into that sort of box, as it were. But a lot of the other, there must have been a load of, what's the other one? Oh, Tigers of Pangyang, that was the other one. There's not huge amounts of new wave of British heavy metal that really made it big. I mean, even Saxon, yeah, they're still going. They've been going for a long time, but they were nowhere near like Iron Maiden, were they? When COVID really F's off, I want us to meet at Brofest, new wave of British heavy metal festival in Newcastle. Now, that sounds good. Is that old, original new wave of British heavy metal bands that are still going playing, or is that bands that are influenced by the new wave of British heavy metal that are now there? who headlined what sort of bands headline that in the last sort of, is that a yearly thing or whatever? Because I reckon that'd be pretty good. Right, I've run out of beer. I need to think about some other beer. Someone's making loads of noise. I think it's my dog. So, anyone else want to make a comment about metal and rock? Oh, it's just me and Brett talking here. Yeah, original new wave British heavy metal bands. I've seen Gaskin, Vardis, Sparta, Amulet, Yeah, these are all the bands that I've never heard of that you mentioned before when we messaged earlier this week, and a few more I can't remember. So there's no sort of big mainstream bands, but as I said, I think I mentioned to you about White Wizard. They're a sort of, they're influenced by new wave of British heavy metal, but they're a fairly modern band. I don't know if those sort of bands are there, and there's a few bands like that. I think we mentioned a couple of those in our chat that we had earlier in the week. But yeah, so if you don't know, new wave of British heavy metal is that sort of when British heavy metal became a bit more mainstream in the late 70s, basically fueled by Iron Maiden, and there was loads of bands that were in that sort of arena, and they sort of came out, and a lot of them didn't really make it any further than playing their local sort of pubs and clubs. Maybe they had record deals and stuff like that. I mean, it's probably not dissimilar to like when we got into the late 80s, and there was the big hair metal bands of Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, and Poison, and then there was hundreds of other hair metal bands that suddenly like, oh, well, they're a bit like them, so let's sign them. That doesn't really happen anymore. But, certainly back in that time, if you're old enough to remember, that's what it was all about. As soon as one band was massive, all the record companies wanted to sign those bands that were like it. Check out Kane and Amulet. There's too much stuff that I need to check out. Yeah. Are you going to put videos, adverts on your videos now? No, not at the moment. I'm not. I've not got my watch hours are not up to the preferred or the requested amount from YouTube. So you probably, maybe in a couple of months there may be some adverts, but not until then, because I want to make it to a point where it's, where there is a little bit of income. It's not going to make huge amounts of money, but it means that I can buy more expensive beer, more interesting beer to review. You're a fan of Raven, Metallica open up for them. Wow, that must have been what early in the mid 80s. I don't know, Raven. I have not heard of them either. What other bands are there? I mean, are you looking at bands like Cloven Hoof? Are they a new wave of British heavy metal? I don't know. I'm just thinking of those bands that I started watching all those years ago. How many more hours have you got? I'll put a video on repeat to get you up. Oh, okay. I've got about 100 hours. No, I think it's about 50 hours, something like that. So that's quite a lot of that's quite a lot of videos that you need to watch. But yeah, I don't expect anyone to do that because it's not going to make much difference. I'll get there naturally. Basically, we're at the point now where my hourly, monthly amount of views is quite high compared with a year ago, for example. So once those months catch up, it has to be in the last 365 days. Once they catch up, then we're getting to a point where more and more, the numbers are going to go up. So I'm not in no rush to get there. It's going to happen naturally within the next few months, I would say. Don't feel the need to watch my videos. Before Killamore and Raven are like Cloven Hoof. Also, you need to listen to Weapon Set, the stage like Metallica riffing off riffs they did that was Saxon. Yeah, I mean Metallica, they were ripping off a lot of Diamond Head and those sort of bands that they did cover their songs, and they gave them, they earned some money from them. Garage Days Revisited is a great album by Metallica. Fired by Judas Priest influenced the Four Horsemen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like Metallica, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I like Ride the Lightning. I like Master of Puppets. I think they're good albums. But at the same time, I prefer Megadeth. I preferred Testament, for example. Suicidal Tendencies. I like Metallica, but I just think that they got lucky in terms of their big break. And I think that's quite controversial to a lot of people because there's a lot of massive Metallica fans. But for me, they're not the best thrash band that ever came out of the sort of 80s. And they did, I know that they were influenced a lot by that new wave of British heavy metal, including Iron Maiden, Priest, and bands like that. And I think that they amalgamated their sort of sound to take that in. I think their later stuff is not really like that, but then they could do any old stuff at that point. Right, so we've hit the 1 hour mark, and I was going to try and keep this fairly short. I didn't want to go into too much, go and do it too long because, number one, I've run out of beer, so I'd have to get up and go to the fridge and get more beer, which I wasn't. I wanted to do another live stream. And, people say, well, why don't you do more live streams, Rocker? And it's like, I don't want to do too many of them. One sitting down in the same place for an hour is difficult for me because I have back problems and I don't, that it's difficult for me to sit down and read and stay in the same position for that period of time. And it's weird. I still find live streams a bit weird. I know there's a lot of people that do live streams almost all the time. Even if they're just having doing a beer review, they're going to do a live stream for it. But for me, it's like, well, how many people want to hear me rattling on for an hour? Well, there's people there that have heard me rattling on for an hour. So I don't know if you're still there. Brett, I like Metallica. I used to love them back in the day. I prefer Thrash with Balls, Razor, Exciter, and Ranger are my favourite bands. Yeah, see, for me, the sort of thrash, I got more into power metal, which is a sort of subgenre, I suppose, of thrash metal. So I was quite a big fan of early Pantera, but I was also bands like Sanctuary, Vicious Rumours, Metal Church. They were the sort of bands that I listened to. Sabotage to some extent. I liked a little bit more melody. I liked a better lead. Power metal for me was always about a much more better lead singer, than a lot of the thrash bands. As much as I love Megadeth, I don't like Dave Mustaine and his voice. It's terrible, but I love the guitar playing on Megadeth albums. So yeah, power metal. If you're into those bands, Sanctuary, Vicious Rumours, Metal Church, big fans of those. Crimson Glory is another massive fan of those. What's your favourite draft beer? I don't know, Isaac. I do like Peroni on draft. I haven't drank craft beer really on draft at all. Or it's not something that I don't go to many. When I go to a pub, I'll look there and you'll get your Beaver Towns and stuff like that, which I may have occasionally, but I do usually stick to lager. So Peroni I like, Heineken I like. I'll keep away from your Carling and your Fosters, basically. Power metal is more the bastard child of Maiden. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think you're right. It's power metal is Maiden, and just a bit more faster and heavier, but still with a lot of that melody. Metal Church, thrash, and that. Yeah, I mean, weren't Metal Church? They were. The early Metal Church were very much thrash. They were very similar to Metallica. I preferred their sort of late 80s, Blessing in Disguise, The Human Factor. They're pretty good. The guitarist from Metal Church, John Marshall, he was actually a guitar tech at Metallica. And when James Hetfield had that sort of incident with the pyrotechnics, where he burnt his arm and he couldn't play guitar, John Marshall played guitar with Metallica, and then James Hetfield was singing. So that's where I sort of found out. But the singer's an amazing singer. But Blessing in Disguise, brilliant album, one of my favourite metal albums. Isaac wants to know what my favourite IPA is. Well, there's a lot of IPAs, isn't there? I mean, there's. I don't think I can tell you my favourite IPA because there's so many good ones. There's not a go-to IPA at all. Certainly not a pub. I don't think there is one. Doesn't exist. Metal Church track sounds like Slayer's Black Magic. Yeah, and it's funny if you hear the first song off the new Halloween album, which as the name has left me now, but the new song off that Halloween album sounds like South of Heaven by Slayer, which seems like a weird sort of combination. But when I heard it, I thought, oh, that sounds like South of Heaven. But I don't know Metal Church's song Metal Church. And to be honest, I don't really know Slayer's song Black Magic. What album was that from? Not from Raining, not from South of Heaven. It's not from Raining Blood, is it? I don't know. But Black Magic, I don't know that. I don't know that song. As I said, I'm not a huge Slayer fan. I have had Raining Blood, all 29 minutes of it, and South of Heaven. They were the albums that I liked. Do you get monthly deliveries or do you have to buy them in? No, I buy them in. Beer52, obviously, that's a monthly thing on a subscription. Bottle shops, I buy them in when I want them, when I see some good releases. A lot of the time, and I buy occasionally from local bottle shops and supermarkets. Manually. Manually. I don't have sort of like some sort of on tap beer coming my way, except for Beer52. But I've got to admit, these beers have been all right, but nothing majorly great. So I prefer to, if I'm paying, I'm paying £3 a can for these Beer52 beers, and I know I'll pay more than that in a bottle shop. But I would prefer to at least pick the beers that I know I'm going to like. Showing No Mercy, okay. Isaac, would you recommend the Northern Monk brand or should I avoid it? No, definitely. Northern Monk, one of the better UK breweries. Whether you're buying the supermarket stuff, I think is some of the best supermarket beer you can buy. And their stuff direct is equally as good. Coxie, I'm glad you're still here, Coxie. I thought, all the talk of rock and metal would put you off, but how depressed will you be when West Ham lose on Saturday? We haven't lost yet in our pre-season. Yeah, so West Ham play. I'm a West Ham supporter for anyone that's interested in football. I don't talk huge amounts of football, but I'm a West Ham supporter for my sins. My pal, who I haven't seen for about 20 years, Coxie there, PGC, is a Celtic fan, and West Ham are playing Celtic. I think, is it Celtic Park this week on Saturday? I reckon we'll beat you, but I would like the challenge because we beat Reading 3-0 when it looked a bit easy. We've beaten Nottingham Forest. We drew against Leyton Orient. They're our pre-seasons. Any pre-seasons for any sort of football fan that actually don't want them to win all of them because they usually don't do that well in the season. But yeah, actually, Coxie, while you're on, actually, did Celtic actually get a manager? Because I don't, because there was obviously a lot of the Eddie Howe was linked for a long time, but I presume he didn't get the job. Who got the job? Have they got a manager? Let us know. Show my favourite show. What's that? What is show? Is that a swear word? Is it show no mercy? I thought it was show no mercy. I don't know. Sorry, Brett. Let us know. Show something. My favourite Slayer. Show something. I went and came back. Well, I finished all my beers now. You said I should drink quick, and I drank quick, Coxie, and now all 4 beers have gone, and all I'm left with is these really spicy onion bhaji snaps. And to be honest, I should really go and get a beer because they're too spicy on their own. Do you want to stick? If anyone wants me to stick around for a little bit longer, then let me know and I'll go and get another one of the Beer52 beers out. I think I'm going to have to get a lager or something really cold. I'm thinking what ones have I got? The Golden Bear. Let's get the Golden Bear out. Can we have a... Yeah, we had a taste test. Celtic Pass, 17,500, but you will only be playing our reserves as we have a Champions League qualifier on Wednesday. Manager is an Australian, Angie Pastigood. Well, you know what? You know what? You know what they should have got at West Brom ex-manager, which I've had 4 beers and I'm forgetting his name now. You know what I mean, Coxie, because you look like him. That's who you should have got. He would have done a good job with. Or Sam Allardyce, still out of a job. He'd do well for Celtic. Right, I'm going to go get another beer. I'm going to hold it there. Coxie, I reckon 2-1 West Ham. I'm back. Right, so I'm going, this is going to be the last beer, Golden Bear. It's a Pilsner, so it's going to be refreshing. It's 4.4%, so not the most alcoholic beer. Let's crack this out into a glass, see what it's all about. But I expect it's going to be a very sort of lagery sort of beer that, to be honest, should quench the thirst. Nice and cold. Again, I think it's these, I'm using these IPA glasses. They always give a little bit more of a head than you expect. 3 fingers, pretty light, pretty lager-esque. Smells like lager. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, I'm smiling now because I've seen your remark now, Coxie. Favourite? Oh, these are pretty good. However, I like nuts. I like chili nuts. I like dry roasted. I like normal nuts. Peanuts for me. Gary Megson is made for West Ham. No, Gary Megson is made for Celtic. You know it makes sense. You know Gary Megson is the man that is written in the stars, be your next manager. Can we get an aroma test? It smells malty. It smells like a lager. The thing is with lagers, they don't really have much of an aroma. Malty. Not much citrus, a little bit sweet, but very malty. What's an underrated brewery that you feel more people should give a chance? Well, I don't think they're underrated, but they're certainly moving up for me. And that's Overtone, Glasgow Brewery. I've done a few reviews for their beers, and I think they're really good. And they're on that sort of level where they do appear more so in bottle shops and stuff, and they do produce a lot of beers. I wouldn't say they were underrated though. I just think they're not up there with the big players. Other Drop Project. So I don't think the video hasn't been released yet on the channel, but I had a beer recently from Drop Project. Not many beer reviewers have reviewed their beers, but they make really good beers as well, and I think they're pretty underrated. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, I think a lot of breweries there's not many breweries that are underrated that no one's heard of, that, you know, it almost gets to the point that they're underrated, and the moment that you've heard of them, you know, they're obviously not underrated at that point. I mean, there's a few, I'm sure there's probably a few small local ones that no one's ever heard of that are probably underrated. But Paul, let me know, what do you think? What's your Who do you think's an underrated brewery you feel more people should give a chance? Because I think a lot of the good breweries, everyone's heard of them a little bit. Yes, you're looking at breweries that aren't maybe in supermarkets. I like Track, but they're not underrated because everyone who's had Track beers really likes them. I think Pressure Drop, they're another brewery that I think they don't get enough recognition, but they're also a good brewery. What else? Yeah, it makes me think that I'll go for a lot of the sort of big name breweries. It's not many breweries that I can think of that you would call underrated, that you think, yeah, I really love this brewery, but no one else likes them. There's not many like that. I'm trying to think of more underrated breweries that most people should give a chance. I wouldn't Overtone are getting up there, but I reckon in 6 months' time, everyone's going to be saying, yeah, Overtone, they're a great brewery. I'm just having a quick look at my my recent reviews, just to sort of give an indication of breweries that I think deserve more exposure, really. Oh, Brails, they're another one that I think are really good brewery, really good, and they don't get enough exposure, I don't think. Other ones like yeah, I think it's when I go through my reviews, and I think, yeah, I'm probably reviewing a lot of more of your mainstream ones, because a lot of people want to see the ones that come out from those. When I've probably drunk those before, the ones from bottle shops, I think that a lot of those are all right, but I don't think they're underrated. I don't think they're good enough, to be honest. One others actually, Brett from Beardy Beerers, we were talking about them, and I think they're underrated. I haven't drank enough of them. I've probably drank 3 or 4 of them, and they're pretty good. And that is Dark Revolution. They're based down in Wiltshire. They make some really good beers, and I think that they're very underrated. Amundsen, have you tried it? Yeah, I mean, Amundsen, I think they are in supermarkets now. I've had a couple of they released quite a lot of those sort of chocolatey stouts. I think I had one of those over Christmas last year. They were pretty good. And I had a hazy sort of pale ale from them that was in Marks and Spencer's. I think was pretty good. I don't think I actually reviewed it in the end, but it was a pretty good beer. But I think that a lot of people know who they are, and they're rated quite high from them. Let's see who else that I would say. I mean, so there's a brewery that's sort of local to me. They're in Shropshire. It's not a million miles away from me. Called Salopian Brewery. They are quite underrated. They make some really, really good beers. A lot of traditional ales, but also they're sort of starting to do more craft beers now, and I think they're pretty good as well. And they're underrated because nobody really knows about them. They're not in supermarkets. They're very a local beer, really. A local beer for local people, as it were. Yeah, but you've said that now to me, and it makes me think that I'm probably review a lot of mainstream. You know, I drink Dayas and Verdants and Polly's, and beers like that. Oh, I'll tell you who another one is. This is an underrated brewery, and that's Mondo Brewery. I can't remember where they're from, but they are real underrated. And then actually another one, Quantock Brewery. If you have a beer from Quantock Brewery, they are pretty good, and they're releasing quite a few new ones. They don't get huge amounts of coverage. Definitely worth trying. Adam at Merseybeer. Sorry, I had to Aldi for milk. Yeah, you went for a. Did you not go for a 1539 Pilsner? Did you have the chance to go to any Chester breweries that don't can or bottle? There's not many Chester breweries in Chester itself. There is one that they call that I'm going to do. I'm planning to do a link up with Tom at Crummy Beard, and we're gonna send each other some local beers. And one of the breweries there, which I've already forgotten the name of, they're what they call a Cuckoo Brewery. So they go to different places and brew their stuff on someone else's premises, as it were. And they're pretty good, but they obviously don't really have the premises. So I think that a lot of the Chester breweries, there's some that are linked to tap rooms and stuff like that. They're much more traditional. I mean, yeah, you can still call them craft, but they're much more traditional for me. Mondo from London, I have one of their Imperial Stouts in the cellar. Oh, you got a cellar? I didn't realise how posh you were, Adam. Big Hand Brewery and Pied Bull are the ones that come to mind. Yeah, Big Hand Brewery. Again, they're sort of linked to a sort of tap room in Chester, as Pied Bull are a pub. It's quite strange because a lot of the beers that craft beers, I don't really go out much in Chester to those sort of pubs. Just the people I don't associate with don't really go to those sort. So I go to much more traditional sort of pubs, opposed to, or traditional, I say that, more mainstream pubs where you're getting lager on tap, basically. So I've not really had them. There is a pub in Chester called the Cellar that does some really good different craft beers. I wouldn't say they do a lot of local beers. It's something that I want to try. But I mean, I got into craft beer in summer last year, and I've not really had the chance to go out to those places. So that's the problem, really. I discovered craft beer in lockdown, and I still haven't really been out to enough pubs that serve craft beer. Now we're out of lockdown, sort of thing. So this is what I want to do, and this is the big plans for the channel, really, is to do some more sort of videos of at the venues and stuff, promote bottle shops, promote the local pubs. I mean, I know that obviously my audience aren't all from the sort of Chester area, but just to show what they offer, because I think those are the sort of things that people are interested in and want to see the actual beer in a pub, because who doesn't like drinking beer in a pub better than drinking at home? You know, that's what it's all about, really. So I'm getting near the end of this, and somehow we managed to make it to 1 hour and 23 minutes. And I think that's enough time for a live stream. I've only got 5 people watching at the moment, so there's not huge amounts of people here. That's probably one of the better beers. So, yeah, Golden Bear. It's a lager, Pilsner, 4.5%. It's the Medvedgrad Brewery in Croatia. Quite like that one, actually. It's a good lager, that. Refreshing. It's what you want. On a hot day like this is what you want. That's what you want. Pie Boy traditional, but the Tangy Bull is a lovely tangerine pale ale. I'll have to give that one a try then. Tangy Bull. Yeah, I mean, you probably know more than me. Actually, Adam, are you still going to be at Liverpool Beer Festival on the Thursday night? So we should sort of. I'm going with a few other people. We should maybe just. It'd be good to meet up and have a, have a beer and whatever. I know you mentioned you may be there on a Thursday night. We're there on a Thursday night. I think it's the 12th of August, something like that. But let us know just before I end the stream. These are good stacks, actually. Pretty good. Trying to get tickets for Thursday. Oh, right, okay. I know the Manchester's this weekend. It's pretty much fully booked, but that's a pay the money and all your beers sort of free on the night. But I've also heard that that's like the beer might be free on the night, but they're offering it in 100 ml. Pretty small measures. I don't know if you're going to Manchester, Adam. Oh, they've released more tickets. Well, I got an email from them today, and when I went on the website to see what they had available, they all looked sold out. Unlimited 100 ml pours. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty small, isn't it? That's like a third of that. It's almost like a swig of beer. And if it gets busy, and it's like, what, 45 quid a ticket or something like that? So you want to be drinking, you want to get more beers in. I was just wondering if it's going to be too busy and you're queuing up for beer and you get a small sliver. And what I did notice about the Manchester is that you can buy the early tickets or something. So you can get in half an hour earlier. So if you get in half an hour before everyone else does, you could get through quite a lot of those beers. But then you're wasted after half an hour. Definitely the best snack that I've had in Beer 52, that one. Enjoyed the lager. Okay, you're going Saturday. Well, that's the best day to go. Manchester really small. Yeah, we went through that. You're going Saturday, unlimited 100 ml pours. Yeah, I mean, I just wonder what the queuing's like. Right, I'm going to end this stream now. We're at there's only 3 people viewing, so we've pretty much done an hour and a half. So thanks everyone that got involved in the live stream today. Really appreciate you taking the time. I don't do huge amounts of live stream. It's not really what I want to do, but sometimes I want to. If I want to sort of give back and get some feedback from people, it's what it's all about. We did 5 beers from Beer 52. So I don't know. I've got 3 beers left. I may just do them as normal reviews, may do live streams. We'll see how we get on. But I hope you've enjoyed this live stream, and I hope you've enjoyed. And again, thanks for the 1,000 subscribers. I know there's 3 people watching, so that's a very small percentage of that 1,000. But thanks for subscribing if you already subscribed. Thanks for commenting on my videos. Really appreciate it. And well, you know what I like to say at the end of all my videos. Until the next one. Keep on rocking.